Well, hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Grizzly Bear Sims YouTube channel and welcome back to Pine Cove Farm. This is episode number 16, and thank you for coming back for another episode. I appreciate that. So yeah, we've got a little bit of an operation going this morning here on the farm. We've got kind of all hands on deck because we realize that we've got a lot of work to do in a short time to do it once we kind of get started here with things. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take an opportunity really quick to do this, to alt hide and to get rid of our that and grab us one of these right quick. And we've got that, and now we are back in. So anyway, as you can kind of see, we've got a lot that's going on today. Let me get my HUD here pulled back up and get back on course. And so yeah, so we've got what we're doing here is if you joined the live stream yesterday, well, I tell you what, let me recap just a little bit further. And yeah, I'm using Courseplay to control the yellow Challenger and the forage wagon picking up the grass there. I'm controlling the John Deere with the rake using GPS. So if you remember from episode number 15, I talked about the fact that we're unable to harvest anything right now just because well, there's nothing to harvest. Everything is still in the process of its last growth stage. And so unfortunately we are in the first day of fall and it is coming up on noon o'clock. So most likely that is not going to be ready to harvest, or we're not going to have our first fields ready to harvest until tomorrow's game day. So when that occurs, and he's at 93%, so he'll be turning and heading back to the silo here momentarily. So in the live stream yesterday, I went ahead and did the mowing and did the tethering on the live stream, just primarily because well, I tell you what I like about the live streams is because they are it allows me the opportunity to kind of get to know you guys a little bit, putting together a live stream like that. And so yeah, so I put together the live stream. I had Courseplay doing the mowing, and I come along and I did sort of the raking. This may not be perfect. There may be a little bit of grass left on the field, but this is essentially, I set the measurements up based on GPS, based on the Courseplay route, and I'll just kind of tell you what I did just so that I could make sure that I was lined up correctly. I went ahead and set up a Courseplay route based on the 14.8 meter working width of this rake so that the Challenger and the loading wagon could follow that, because obviously I want it to follow my course correctly there. And then if we go in and if we look at it's this one here, if we pull up our lines, we should be pretty darn close. I think close enough for government work there, and I think that he will be able to pick up everything that we're raking together. So I'm not really worried about these little bits of hay that might get left behind. As long as we get the vast majority of it, I'm going to be okay with that, because like I said, it is early autumn. We're kind of doing this just to kind of stretch this day out, this game day out, and obviously we do need the hay, because what we're going to probably do with, I would think that maybe, just maybe, we will be looking at 1 million liters, which is what we got out, or over 1 million liters, which is what we got out of the grass field that we cut here. Plus we did a little bit of hay from that. But we've still got about 300,000 to 400,000 liters of grass, and of course grass is going to become a problem for us in the wintertime. It's basically, I think, going to go away, even though it's in a silo. And so we need to stockpile on hay, and we will also be sending any excess hay that we have. If we need it to go to the compost facility, we can send it down to the compost facility as well, in addition to straw that we start collecting off the fields come as soon as that is available to do. So let's see, looks like according to my my HUD there, it looks like he is he's emptied, so he should be on his way back Yeah, we're gonna miss just a little bit there. Let me take a look at let me just take a look at where we are here, and see if this is gonna really work out, because I can shift this over slightly. I think I'm still going to end up missing some of that over there, but it's okay. Like I said, I'm just kind of wanting to get the vast majority of this, and kind of wanted to go ahead and drive the tractor and the rake here instead of having Courseplay do that. So there's going to be a strip there, but we are on the Courseplay route, and that's what is the most important thing. And maybe it will maybe it'll all even out here as we get another row or so going. But hope you all are having a wonderful week, and it looks like he has already returned, so he should be coming up and getting on the course here momentarily. There he goes there. So he'll come up here to the top of the field, because this is where he or she left off. Have to be cautious about how I refer to our hired hands. Of course, all my hired hands are named with gentleman names, only because they have been my hired hands for even dating back to Farm Sim 15, when there actually was no female workers. So I don't know, maybe as we continue to grow, we might have to have at least one named female hired hand. I don't want to single anything out that way. But anyway, so he or she will do his turn and come back and pick up that other row. And let's see where we are on this. And by the way, I did sort of fail to mention some of these extra things. You know, when I did the Courseplay, yeah, it's gonna leave that little strip there. We're gonna be okay. Let me just check again on the Courseplay stuff. Yeah, see, we're right on the course. That's what I'm most concerned about. I'm not concerned about the little bits of grass. I think we're going to have more than enough hay coming off this field to provide our needs, because remember, we're just going to play this series through winter, maybe a game day into spring, something like that, just to verify that we did the right kind of planning and stuff like that. I realize in the real world we would be concerned about these bits of grass that we're leaving, but remember, we work in the virtual world. It's not perfect, and so just kind of ignore that if you can. It was more along the lines of, I wanted to drive the windrower, the tractor and the windrower, and so that's what I'm doing, and this is sort of the trade-off, so that the other guy is coming along and picking up the hay and the grass. Because unfortunately, the way that Courseplay works is for the main course, and obviously the main course is that we're considering to be the main course. That is obviously the raking, because the raking process, the windrower is set the 14.8 working width course. So the main course that we've got the Challenger and the forage wagon plugged into is obviously that course, and he's already full and he's running back. So that, my friends, that's 100,000 liters of hay that he or she has pulled off, and they've only collected one, almost two windrows. So we're going to get more than enough hay off this field to do what we need to do. So anyway, enough about that. So hope you all are having a wonderful week. Let's see, what is today? This should be this should be TGIF for you guys. I got it right last week, and I'm thinking I'm getting it right again this week. And yes, by the way, I do keep a spreadsheet I keep a spreadsheet of my episodes when I've released them, in the various stages of things. Essentially, my spreadsheet, and for those of you that might be doing YouTube stuff, if you're interested in a tip, I'll give you this tip absolutely free. Of course, I don't charge for any of my tips, but whether it be useful to you or not, I don't know. But I basically have a spreadsheet, and I have in one column, I have the day of the week, and then, which is, you know, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. And then the second column, I have the date, which would be, you know, like the 7th of April 2017. And then I have columns to indicate either yes or no whether I have recorded the episode, and then I have a column whether or not I have edited the episode. Oops, wrong button again. I have another column for whether or not I have uploaded the episode to YouTube. And let me just check this again. See, we're good. We're right on the money. So I'm not gonna worry about checking that anymore. I'm gonna just rake this, and again, the little bits and pieces. It's a little more than bits and pieces, but that's just ignore that, folks, please. Anyway, the next column is whether or not the video has been is active on YouTube, and usually that is answered with either scheduled or yes. So whenever, you know, basically when I upload a video after I've edited and rendered and everything, I upload the video to YouTube and I schedule that video for release at a future date. And that's one of the advantages of monetization through the YouTube program, is that you get that ability to schedule. And for me, especially the last couple of weeks since I have been traveling quite a bit, that has been crucial because I'm in a completely different time zone. As a matter of fact, I'm leaving out this evening for San Francisco for another week, and so that's crucial to me because I'm in a different time zone. And at 6 a.m. Mountain Time, which is when I release my videos on YouTube, that's still 5 a.m. San Francisco time. Sometimes I'm up at that time because my body clock is obviously telling me, hey bud, it's 6 o'clock. You should be up and be active. You should have already consumed at least 1 cup of coffee by now. But usually after a couple of days of living in that time zone, I'm already acclimated and ready to go. So anyway, it's an ease thing for me. It's an easy thing. So anyway, and then whenever the video does go live, I will usually go in and change that column to yes to be active. And so at a glance, and I usually keep that spreadsheet pulled up on a laptop that I have next to me when I'm recording, and I will look at that spreadsheet and I will know when the next episode is. And so again, with my travel schedule the way that it is, I'm typically recording 4 to 5 episodes on the weekend before I leave. So for example, I recorded 4 episodes yesterday on Saturday, and then the final episode is getting recorded today. And so that I will edit and render this afternoon, and I'll get a few things. I'll get at least Monday and Tuesday and Thursday going, and then typically might, if I can't get it all done, then from my laptop I'll just take the file once I've rendered it on my other PC, and then I can upload it from California later in the week. But in any event, that's kind of how I do things. I know that most of you that are watching aren't doing YouTube videos or anything like that, so that was probably only really directed towards a few that might be of interest, that might care about such a process. But it helps me out because that way, sort of at a glance, again, because I'm recording in advance, I can look over and I can say, when I say basically, welcome ladies and gentlemen to Grizzly Bear Sims YouTube channel. This is Pine Cove Farm episode number 16. I can look at that spreadsheet and I know what the next numbering system is. Now, there have been a few times that I have basically said, Today is Friday, TGIF, and the episode is on Thursday. And that might have been the case that maybe I didn't think I was going to get as many, or I wasn't going to get an episode recorded for a specific day. And so maybe I did, and so it throws things off. And anyway, that's just me hammering on about really nothing. So I think I told you in yesterday's video, and of course you guys are watching this, you know, a week after the fact almost, that winter kind of decided to come back. We had snow in the forecast. We were supposed to get anywhere from 6 to 8 inches of snow on Friday. That was the 31st of March, Saturday the 1st of April. That ended up all being an April Fool's joke. Not really, because obviously the weather, you know, the weather stations, the weatherman doesn't do April Fool's jokes, at least not regarding the weather forecast, the official weather forecast, obviously, because that would be dangerous to do. But we've just had some really odd weather patterns the last few weeks here in Colorado, specifically Denver, where we have had, this was the third storm, and when I say storm, that sort of refers to winter storm as well. You know, elsewhere, this would probably have been just a lot of rain, but here in the higher elevations, the colder climate and everything, it could certainly be snow. So anyway, we've had 3 storms. This was the third. The April Fool's storm was the third storm that came through, and each of these storms, and they've been about a week apart from each other. Each of these storms were forecasted to bring anywhere from 4 to 8 inches of snow each time. And each time, and I'm going to knock on wood here because find me some wood to knock on. Each time we have only got a trace amount of snow, but mostly rain. And of course, that has been ideal. I would much rather have the rain than have the snow. Of course, we'll take moisture around here any way we can get it, and you know, beggars cannot be choosers and all that kind of stuff. But regardless, this storm, we were concerned, and I even told my wife, I'm like, you know, we have dodged 2 bullets. We are not going to dodge this one. This one, our daytime. You know, the thing about it is the first storm that came through, the day before, it was almost like 80 degrees, okay? And then the second storm, we had some warm temperatures as well. And by the time that the temperatures began to drop, and you know, the first thing that started was the rain. Basically, you know, the streets and, wrong button again, the streets and the sidewalks and even the grassy areas and stuff like that, typically where snow will accumulate, that had all been, you know, the daytime temperature had been, you know, 70 something degrees the day before, and it takes a while for that kind of stuff to cool down. And actually, the first and second storm, our overnight low never dropped below 32 degrees, freezing, or 0 degrees Celsius. And of course, you don't need snow. You know, snow will accumulate on elevated areas even if the temperature is above freezing. It doesn't last very long, and it's typically a rain-snow mix. But anyway, you guys know the deal about that. But this third storm, the day before, or actually a couple of days before it had actually arrived, the daytime highs had been just barely in the 40s, and this storm came in on Friday. And when I went to work on Friday morning, it was probably 40 degrees, and before lunchtime, the temperature had dropped into the upper 30s, and by, like, say 2 o'clock in the afternoon, it was the daytime the temperature just after noon, around 2 o'clock, was hovering at or around freezing. But it was mostly rain, and we had maybe a trace, and when I say trace, less than 1/4 of an inch of snow, so really kind of difficult to measure. But you know, like on my patio table, on my barbecue pit, things like that, you know, I could see that there was, you know, a little bit of snow accumulation. But again, on Saturday, again, because it mostly was rain, that melted, that got washed down and everything, and everything was quite nice. So we dodged yet another bullet as far as snow accumulation goes. And the issue with the snow accumulation is the fact that because each year we seem to have early spring, and when I say early spring, I mean like early feels like spring temperatures, and this has kind of been a phenomenon the last several years. And we've got a couple of fruit trees, and I'm not going to get into the politics of whether global warming exists or not, but irregardless, we've had this early spring come about, and we've got a couple of fruit trees, and I guess maybe about 6 or 7 years ago was the last time we actually had fruit from either of the trees, because what would happen is this warm-like weather starts occurring, like say in mid to late February, mid-March or so. These trees start to wake up and they start their blossoms and all of this, and maybe before the bees can come along and do their little job, we get either a cold front that comes through that sends temperatures down below freezing and all the little blossoms freeze and die, or we have this spring snow that comes. And spring snow here in Colorado is not like winter snow at all. And if you do any skiing at all here in Colorado or even otherwise, you certainly know the difference between spring snow and regular winter type snow, because even on the slopes, the spring snow is that concrete, that mashed potatoes consistency. It's difficult. It's hard to you get your skis caught up in it or your board caught up in it, and it's ankle breaking or knee twisting type snow. It's not light and fluffy like champagne type snow. And so when we get that here, and we get that after our trees have kind of woken up from winter and they've got a little bit of foliage on it, then basically this mashed potatoes consistency of snow sticks to these new formed leaves. The branches bend down, and next thing you know, trees are cracking and breaking, and it's just a mess. I mean, we have lost so many trees and shrubs because of this. And I will typically go out during the day and shake the trees off. I will use a broom or something and put my I've got like a North Face Gore-Tex jacket that's got a hood on it, and I will put that on and go out there, because basically if you're standing under a tree, these mass amount of snow is going to fall down. And it was a funny story, because a couple of years ago we used to have DirecTV satellite service here, and where they put our satellite dish, they kind of were restricted because of HOA rules and everything, and so they put it in a place where it wasn't ideal. And unfortunately, every time it would snow, especially the spring-like stuff that kind of tends to stick to everything, the satellite receiver and everything would lose good quality of signal. And so where they put the satellite dish was, we have a deck off the master bedroom, and so they put it up above that deck. And so I would basically take a ladder. I've got a fiberglass and aluminum ladder that I would take, put up on that deck, and then I could stand about 3 rungs up on the ladder. It's a little 6-foot ladder. I could stand about halfway up on that ladder, and then I could reach the satellite dish with a broom. Well, a lot of times we would have these late spring snows, and the wind drifts and everything that would build up on the roof of the house would essentially cover the satellite dish. And so my wife, being the cautious and very caring person that she is, God bless her, would still insist on coming out and holding the ladder, even though there was no risk or no danger of me falling off of it. It's just the type of person that she is. And she would go out and hold the ladder, and many times, and she would also put her coat on, and sometimes she would put her hood up and sometimes she wouldn't. But I think towards the end, and I think you know where I'm going with this, she always would put her hood up, because I would be up on this ladder poking the satellite dish and trying to bring the stuff down, and it would come falling down on her head. So fun stuff, and that's just kind of the way that winter goes around here. Well, folks, I really think that the rest of this episode is going to kind of be a rinse and repeat of what you're seeing here, with me moving the hay into the windrow and picking it up and everything. So I'm going to go ahead and end this episode here and wish you all a very good day and a good weekend coming. And I will be back again with more episodes from the Grizzly Bear Sims YouTube channel. Thank you, and I'll see you all very, very soon. God bless you all. Bye-bye.